Okay, so what to do? Here are the keys. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 6. This is the one that's most complex that I'm just leaving off. I'm saying this could be a key too, but what if we had no processes? What would you do? So it would be 5. One thing we do is bear witness, and we're going to practice these. You do nothing other than sit in the delicious experience of being with another man as he's with his struggle. And the essence of it is, I get it. This is hard. The feeling on the other side is, they're with me. That's all. Not working it, not shifting it, but it requires, like all of these do, it requires a deep willingness to let go of my story and be in his. To let go of my whatever beliefs and to just enter into his life. And to feel it. It's the thing that, many women want most from us. Is not to fix it, not to change it, not to advise it away, but to be full, wholehearted witness. Heart open. I find some of us listen to try to understand it, as opposed to listen to getting it and having it resonate. So the moment I know that I've really witnessed well is that the moment it's actually starting to vibrate me. And he's sad, and when I start to feel sad, I must have witnessed something. I must have been there fully. So witness feels a little detached. It's the full essence of empathically entering into this man's world. I think it's one of the biggest gifts we can give to each other. It may not move it, but dear God, could I at least be seen in the moment? What a magical thing we can do. Yeah, you got it? That's why I put it first. It's like, and I don't know that we do this so well.
We don't.
I think we're trying to fix it. As soon as I'm trying to fix it, I'm not matching him. I'm not there with him. We try to work it. We want to show how we can help. All those things don't enter. Anyway, so enough said, but we're going to do a little practice of witnessing. What does it feel like? It's a magical moment.
Just a hint or a tool. There's a lot of ways of listening. I was given a visualization for if it's empathic listening, actually listening from your heart, imagining a heart with ears on it, listening from that place. There's a lot of places that we listen from. Often it's from the head, which doesn't have the same witness quality as if we're listening from different places in us.
Yeah. It's heart witness, not head. Okay. How many are familiar with Carl Rogers, this therapeutic process? Many do. Carl Rogers taught something about the therapy process that I think is profound. And that is with the assumption that you have wisdom. Could I ask questions that invite your own self-awareness is the essence of the Rogerian process. So asking questions that are simply, they're wide open, there's no agenda to it. I'm actually following your own inner process. So what does that mean for you? Where does it feel stuck for you? How does that enter in for you? What does that feel like, that stuckness? Have you had a sense of when you haven't been stuck? When has that been? What's the difference between that and this? I mean, these are just all questions that are following the man's internal process and coaxing it out. They're almost always open-ended, and they're almost always agendaless. You're literally following the other man's path. So that's a second, just key thing. I see about 2/3 of the time we're doing this, and about some third of the time we're asking questions designed to get to an answer. I think you want to discover this, so I'll ask the question that will help you discover this. Is not what I'm referring to here. It's agenda-driven questions. So we'll practice a little bit. Third thing we can do is just hits. And this is where after you hear the talk, you kind of feel into what's stirring for you. And there could be any of a number of hits, but the hits are, I got a sense about this, and it's the following. Or I'm hearing you in this way, and I got a hit about it. I'm wondering if The way I'm hearing it sounds like you're disconnecting from your own power. That's what it sounds like to me. That's my hit about it. I don't know if it's true. I'm not giving you feedback, but something is hitting me, and I'm sharing it with you. That's the third thing we can be doing.
And I'm not invested in being right.
Doesn't matter. But something's happened over here. Could be my own shit. But to the extent that I have a hit and then 3 others go, I had the same hit,
That might serve him.
it really serves when 3 or 4 men have the same hit, and it's a hit that he hadn't seen for himself. That's why those hits become valuable. So I got to put it out. I got to recognize it may be my own stuff, but I don't know. And the magic becomes the group. This is why do it in a group. When you have 5 or 6 or 7 men giving a hit, and something's coalescing, there's the potency of us. Without knowing anything about Gestalt or anything about this. We'll practice this in a little bit. The fourth thing we can do is give feedback. There's actually a lot of stuff in feedback. I'm not going to go there too much, but feedback, the essence of it is, when I hear you, here's what happens over here. It's a slightly different variation of a hit, but my experience of you is this. Or when you do that, here's the impact on me. And then the fifth is... Yeah.
Could I just say something about feedback that really inspires me? Feedback that leans towards questions, continues the guy's inquiry, that helps to continue the guy's inquiry deeper into himself, I think is really valuable also.
I agree. And when you have feedback and you disguise it as an inquiry, it creates confusion.
In what way?
If I really want to give you feedback and say, Greg, the kinds of questions you ask are really problematic for me, and rather than just state that directly, I ask a question in hopes that you discover it, I'm manipulating. I'm easing in. You don't really know what the feedback is, and I'm trapping you.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right?
Yeah.
So I really want us to be clean. I got feedback. Here's my experience. That works for me. That doesn't work for me. And I have a question about this that might further the process. It's just drawing a distinction. They can go hand in hand, but feedback for me, we manipulate often by disguising the feedback. Yeah. And then the fifth, which we won't practice much, is we listen to the man. We've been with him for months and months and months. We've heard the story come up 3 or 4 times. The pattern has shown up. And we issue a challenge. Lovingly, by the way, of course. But we say, you know, I've heard this quite a bit, and I get you're stuck here, and I think you're in your own way, and I challenge you to blow through that. I challenge you. I believe you're better than this, and I believe you're letting your own fears stick you. That's my feedback to you. Here's my challenge. And I believe that when the group is clean and works well together, there's a lot of room for that. In fact, this is what we want. I want to be challenged. It's intended to blow past the blockage. And sometimes just 3 or 4 men, the weight of their belief in me, the weight of them together challenging me goes, I'm going to face it. Right?
I just like to make
I like that about us, that you're there to challenge. Particularly in the group energy of it, can actually support me blowing